Hey, that's shaka in Hawaii. It means good luck and stuff. Anyway, so I'm Callie, Curls and Company, and we're gonna do a detox on Sarita. Sarita's a performer. Sometimes she's gotta use a lot of products. It just happens. So anyway, no judgment here. But if you're gonna use a lot of products and you're gonna have a lot of buildup, you don't wanna create a hair hangover, which can happen. But let's just say you had no choice. You had to do it. You had to use many things. This Maxi Wash is what we use here to remove any buildup. Anything we don't know, anything we're like, we don't know what she put on her hair, you know, whatever. This is a great product to really take it all the way there. Another product we really like that's more gentle, we went over this, is the Buildup Buster. So you can use this too, and it smells really good. So we're gonna start today detoxing. And again, low porosity hair. Low porosity hair, if the water is beating on your hair, if it can never feel like it's like dry, you've got low porosity hair. There's nothing wrong with it. It just means you've got to make sure you really don't fake wet it. Fake wet it is like, I'm gonna show you what the fake wet. It doesn't work real good. Okay, my hair's wet. No, 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 no. This is not wet enough to be, this is like barely, you know. You gotta get in there under your shower head and really get in there. And it's so much easier to do in your shower. It really is. So just, you know, get one of those nozzles if you need to. You can get them at Target. You don't have to spend $1 million. I try not to use incredibly hot, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You gotta use warm water. Like, I know they say cool water's better, but I live in the real world. We gotta get stuff off your hair. So, you know. And actually, this is really good. This tells me Sarita, whatever she's been using, is not super crazy insanely gunky because look, there's no bubbles. I can't tell you how many people come back here. I'm wetting down their hair, and it's almost like they've got shampoo in it. That means you're using too many products. That's like a ding, 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 bad sign. So usually, I would probably, for somebody who's not having a lot of suds and not having a lot of super gunk, I would use the Wash Day Wonder. Wash Day Wonder, I'm sorry. Build-Up Buster. Build-Up Buster. They do look a little the same. So anyway, but today, we're gonna use the Maxi Wash because, again, we really wanna start with a clean canvas. So, and you put it over the canopy of the hair when you do it and work it in. Like, again, when you're in the shower, what I would suggest you do is flip forward and get the mid shaft to the ends, just so you know that got in there. But because we're detoxing, the scalp it means something. And the thing is, there's a lot of stuff in Kevin Murphy, as strong as it is as good as it is for your scalp. That's why we're really into it, because if you're gonna go through and detox the hair, you don't wanna hurt your scalp. Remember, your scalp is attached to your skin. So would you put some goopy, gunky oil all over your face? No, why? Because you'd break out and you'd be like full of pimples and you'd be itchy and allergic. So you wanna make sure whatever you're using on your hair is something that's kind to your skin. So, all right, and we're just sort of working it through with the shampoo. And it is really nice. Whatever,
it smells
I'm not
good.
gonna go into like every ingredient because you don't need to know it. It really goes through the hair nicely. You know what I mean? Because again, with low porosity hair, sometimes you're just like, you feel like it's not getting in there. Whatever they use in the Maxi Wash, you're getting in there. You know what I mean? Now, if you go to use the Build-Up Buster, use a little more for your first go-round, but I would say do 2 shampoos because, again, it's very, very gentle. So, and gentle is good. You really don't want to have to sandblast it away. So, and you want to make sure that you focus on your scalp because, again, sometimes the scalp gets left out of the equation. And it's really important you get everything nice and clean before you do your deep condition. So see how now she's had the maxi wash. We've worked it in there really good. See how nice and like her hair is saturated. That's what you want to see. That hair should look like that. Now, here's what a lot of people make a little boo-boo on. They don't rinse well enough. They're like, okay, I rinsed. No, rinse it good. Because you really want to make sure that you're not just leaving some of that shampoo in there. Because that can make you itchy. Plus, we're going to the heavy moisture, you know. Now, sometimes what I like to do if I'm really pampering myself is you can do your favorite conditioner and then go into your melt into moisture. So again, what I would probably do is do like a one condition, rinse it out, and that's what I'm going to do and do melt into moisture. Why? Because I'm feeling her hair so much of success. Feel your hair. What does it feel like? Like, okay, now that we've removed buildup, it's feeling good, but it's feeling a little dry. So I want the most amount of moisture I can get. One thing to know about moisture is if you put too much oil on your hair, which is not moisturizing, it's just slathers it in oil. But if you put too much moisture stuff, it will shrink a little bit. So if you're really trying to get the elongation, if you're like a 4C client, if you put too much oil and stuff on there, your hair's going to shrink back into a circle. So just do know that. So I'm going to go through with Sarita and do the one condition and the melt into moisture. I'm going to start with that. And again, place it over the canopy. And then I start detangling because again, I want to get nice curl pattern with her. So I'm going to start detangling while I'm doing the conditioner. I'm not just going to glunk it on and then hope it like works its way in. If you have a little helmet dryer at home or something, you can put all your conditioner through and see, don't forget the edges. Poor edges. They don't get treated right. You know, everybody just wants them to lay down. But again, something that's going to help them over time lay down is moisturizing them really good. You know, and not using stuff with too much like castor oil or mystery oil. I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you're, you know, in a situation where your edges are really acting up. But try to find something like a Beautiful Mess is a pomade that is water-based by Diva, and it's really fantastic. See how, like, you should be able to do this. If you're like, well, a couple things. You may need a haircut, but also your hair's not wet enough. So if you are having pain, you need to get wetter. I'm back. And we're going to go over how to apply the conditioner to Sarita's hair. Low porosity, so it needs 10 to 11 care. So, and I'm also going to use this because, okay, we're going to be wetting her down a lot. We don't want her walking around with soaking wet clothes. First time I went to Diva Curl in New York, they had robes. You know what? It's not a bad idea. But we don't have a robe here. We're a little more on the, you know, the mellow version of this. But we do have their wonderful Diva towel. And again, I work with a lot of microfiber towels, and they're nice. But I'll tell you why I really like this. Look how big this is. So this is a really big towel. It's got a nice hook for hanging in the bathroom. Don't rewash these every time, or they just won't last as long. So anyway, like after every time you do your hair. So, but these really suck up the moisture and really don't make you frizzy. And again, there's a lot of microfibers out there. And even sometimes when I'm telling people use the old cotton t-shirt, I don't feel like it gets the juice. I'm going to just be honest with you. I literally only have a few minutes in the morning. I cannot have hair dripping down my clothes all over the place, all over the house, then you wipe out in your bathroom. Again, I'm a realist. So this is so easy. You put on all your stuff, like you get done doing your no poo, one condition, whatever. Do this, and I don't know why, but it sticks really good. So, and then, boink, you can take it out and not have to worry about it. So, again, very handy to have. There's actually, they have disposable microfibers right now, which I'm just going to move over here and show you guys one. One of my clients brought these to me These are microfibers that you can throw away. So again, if you want the most amount of absorption, like if you cannot have leaking, or drippy hair all over the place, this is awesome. So when I put in conditioner, first of all, make sure it's wet. I have the microfiber around her, so she shouldn't get too drippy. Sarita, if you want to pull it tighter, that's fine too. If you feel like, I'm losing it. So again, your hair should be wet enough that this can be possible. And if you notice, not a comb in sight. Fingers are nice and soft and friendly. They're not harsh. They're not snapping her hair. So again, we're doing a deep conditioner with melt into moisture, low porosity. So I'm going to work it through. And you'll know right away if your conditioner is your friend. Like if this product works for you, because it should feel good going into your hair. If the product you're putting in, if you're getting resistance and it doesn't feel good, you're like, ouch, 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 then it's not the right product for you. And that, again, if you can get a little sample from like at this salon at Curls & Company in Chicago, we do give samples, and we're not doing it just to like, woo, free product for all. We're doing it to make sure you achieve success at home, because that's really, really, if you ask me, one of my most important visions for you as a client, it's that when you go home, you can recreate these looks, and that it's not going to take you 10 hours. And if you notice when I'm parting her hair, I'm not taking itty bitty parts. A lot of people were really out on that, where they were like really into taking teeny weeny tiny little parts. I find the more you manipulate curly hair, the frizzier it gets. So again, if you have super knotty hair and it's just like every time you try to do anything, it's getting really knotty on you, then take a smaller parting. Feel free. Then you're going to go through and you're going to take a parting like that big and you're going to work it through. And again, watch how much when you're taking these partings like that, let's say her hair was really knotty, which it's not. Again, see how much you can get away with the water. Use water. It is your friend. It is your buddy, But you can take in the shower, because I know you don't have a million hours. And then, see how, I'm going to show you. Resistance. It's okay. Water, water, water. I got this water bottle on Amazon. It's a continuous flow. See? Look, everybody's playing well again. Woohoo! Awesome. How super nice. And look at something else. Look how pretty suddenly we're seeing her curls. And I mean, you can see, she can get very like fuzzy. So, a lot of people think, oh, well, you just pick somebody who's got perfect hair. No, Sarita's a normal human being. There's no hair extensions or anything. This is her real live hair. And there's no, as you can tell, this is lo-fi. We're not doing a bunch of special effects here. This is me at the bowl, putting in conditioner with this continuous flow spray bottle and our melts into moisture. Please, it's the real deal. You can tell. So anyway, I'm going to pause right here and we're going to put the rest of the conditioner in at my station. And again, I don't want this to take 10 hours. This should be pretty quick in your bathroom. If you're telling me it's 4 hours to do my hair, then you know what? Let's try something different, because you shouldn't have to it shouldn't have to be such a time commitment. Yes, it's going to take some time to look good. Some people come in, they're like, well, I don't want to do anything with my hair. The bad news is it's going to look that way. I mean, you have to do something. So what we're trying to do at Curls & Company Chicago is we're trying to help you do it the quickest, most efficient, high impact, low maintenance way. Where is our... So, okay, we had to move from the back bar. So that's actually kind of a lot. You know what? If you can order one of these big ones, I really recommend it, because when you go to like dip in the tub, sometimes you take too much. I think they've actually got it in a squirt bottle now, which is way better. So, all right. And again, you shouldn't be doing this all the time. there's a reason deep conditioners are more expensive, and you don't want to do them all the time. If you're doing them all the time, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Because again, if you've got a good daily conditioner, and I know for somebody with tighter hair, you're not redoing it every day with your shampoo and condition. Plus, to be honest, most people don't have the time. I mean, I'm gonna be honest about me. I redo my hair now. My hair is finer than it used to be, and I get about 3 days out of it. I wanna be able to re-wet it, and I know you guys do too. Some people, if it's super tight and super knotty, it really is going to benefit you. I know you don't want to hear this, but if you can do it every other day. Because once your hair gets used to being detangled and moisturizing every other day, you'll find you're not getting as knotty anymore. We have a client here who's a dad, who's got 3 little girls. You can imagine, with very low porosity, tight curls. He makes them get by the tub. I asked him what he does. They dunk their heads and they get as wet as possible, and then they drag the conditioner through with their fingers. So I mean, this is a dad having to get little girls ready for school. And I said, you do it every day? And I mean, I thought he was full of it. And he's like, no. He goes, if we don't do it every day, whoops, we're gonna have a problem. Because he said they immediately get knotted up. And you know what is something really important that you guys are going to want to know? How much to use. Like, you see how much here Sarita has? This Multi and Moisture. In each section, we're going to do 1, 2, I think we're at 3, 4. I'm going to do like 5 sections just because I really care, and we're not going to do this all the time. So about that much. That's good. And then drag it through. This is the other thing. When detangling, drag it down. See how my fingers are going down? You know, almost like a little kid. Look, I'm combing your hair. Like, these are the little embarrassing things we say, but they're the things you're gonna remember when you go like this. I've had little kids who have the tightest hair. Maybe it's gotten really knotty. Mom and dad are frustrated. They don't know what to do. Again, this is your easiest way. And again, treat the hair like it's precious fabric. Like, go through and be nice to it. You don't need to rip at it. You don't need to be mean to it. I see people with that Denman brush all the time, like ripping at it. Let me tell you what happens with that. Yes, you're gonna have like beautiful for a while, but you will get breakage all the way up to here. And then you're gonna have these long pieces and then broken pieces. And it's not fun. So again, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm just being honest with what we see coming through the door. Look how nice that water just made that. So we moisturize that area. And again, if you're only doing this once a week, you know, just make it part of, have your favorite TV show that you're gonna binge watch. You know, put a big beach towel on your couch and do this. I'm gonna go through here. And again, I know this isn't the most glamorous video you're gonna see. I'm on Instagram too. And I look, and there's people with beautiful nails and all this gorgeous stuff. This is just the reality of what really you're gonna do every day. There's no special effects here. So, and that's what I want for you guys, because I don't like when I look at somebody and surprise, they look great 10 seconds later. This is the real deal, and this is what you need to do. Now, did you notice I didn't put any product on her hair? Why? Because again, if you're trying not to waste product, you're trying to save a few pennies, see how the hair feels. Her hair's feeling pretty good. Sarita is somebody who, when she first came to me, I think she's like all of us. We used a lot of like heavy stuff. And I can see such a difference in her hair. Like, I mean, there used to be a lot knottier. You're not as knotty as you used to be at all. So I'm gonna use a little less on her. And again, we don't wanna leave any curlies out, but I'm gonna use a little less. And again, see what I'm doing? Why? Because then I'm gonna work it in. Now let's say you're at the end of the bottle. You need a deep conditioner. The oldest hair is your mid-shaft to ends. The really old hair is this. That stuff you know you never want to cut. Yeah, well, that needs the most amount of TLC you can give it. So if you're at the bottom of your deep conditioner, If nothing else, focus on the very ends. And to be honest, the hair that gets the most, this is something else I want to show you guys. I know I'm kind of messing with the parts, but again, so much of it is, can you get your hands through your hair? If it's going through good, you don't need 5,000 parts. You just need to know that you're getting it all through there. This is the part of the hair that gets the most amount of abuse. This is where you're gonna flat iron, you're gonna round brush. You're gonna big barrel curling iron, you're gonna smooth your edges. You're gonna be nervous at work, whatever. So this is where you really wanna go through. If you've ever braided anybody, which I can't braid to save my life, but I notice people who braid kind of do this. Do that when you're putting in your conditioner, when you're putting in your products. Even with gel, like go through and get in there, and you want it like, again, you're smoothing the hair. If you want, this hair doesn't know what you want it to do. I mean, it doesn't have a mind of its own. The mind is in your hands. You're telling it, I want you smooth and curly. Now we're gonna do another video on people who get flattened out very easily. You would not do this if you have very loose curls, very swavy curls. This would actually straighten you out a little bit. But again, and when you see that area around here, give it some loving. Make sure, see when I put some water on there, what happens? Suddenly, oh look, there's a curl pattern. Plus, I always find the zen of doing your hair is if you kind of are nice to yourself when you're doing it, it doesn't make it such a tedious process. You know, I know we're all busy, but anything worth doing is worth doing right. So it's just like, be nice to your curls, you know? Make sure everybody's getting a little moisture, get through there, work it through. And this is conditioner, so again, you're allowed to manipulate it a little bit more. And then just, you know, work it through a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it up, and I'm gonna put her in a cap. So, and not a fancy cap, just a cap to seal in the moisture. It's like the greenhouse effect. If you put the hair nice and moist and wet in a cap, the moisture sort of stays in there. But here's the pro trick. Right before we're ready to rinse her, I kind of want I want this to absorb back in. So you almost have to have it cool off a little bit. So again, take your cap off and let it air dry for just a couple minutes, because then the pore, whatever, is closing back over all that moisture you just put on there. So you're not just rinsing it down the bowl. And you'll find in a lot of cases, if you can leave this on for like 15 minutes, when you go to rinse it, you're gonna be like, wow, where'd it go? I don't even feel like it's in the sink. It's because your hair absorbed it. And that last little cooling really helps. So we're gonna put a cap on her and let her sit for a little bit under the heat.